Good afternoon, everyone. This is Sean Blyle from the Client Development Team here at MembersFirst. Thank you for joining us today. We will be reviewing the MembersFirst Tea Times and MembersFirst mobile app on today's webinar. Just a few housekeeping instructions for today's webinar. We will be going through a quick PowerPoint presentation with some notes and slides that I will send to everybody after the call. And then we will jump over into doing a quick live presentation of both systems, both the app and the T sheet. So one thing to note is that everybody on the webinar is currently on mute. However, there is a question area over on the right-hand side within your GoToMeeting webinar control panel. If you have any questions along the way, please add them into the question and answer box, and I will save plenty of time towards the end to answer anything that may have come up during the webinar. So with that being said, let's begin. So most of you on the call, there are a lot of both MembersFirst clients and people who are not clients on the call. So as you know, MembersFirst is an award-winning digital agency that works primarily in the private club industry. So most of you know that we do web design. However, what a lot of you sometimes don't realize is that we have a full reservation suite, everything from tea times to event registrations to junior programs, massage, spa, conference room, you name it, we most likely have a reservations module for it. But today's presentation is actually going to focus on two areas that have been extremely popular and very well received by our client base, which is the MembersFirst mobile app, and then how that works with our MembersFirst T sheet. So let's start off with the world of mobile. Well, we all know that things are getting complicated. All of your members probably have more devices than you have, and they're actually using them all of the time. So how do you manage all of your communications in all of these different areas correctly? Well, there's a couple different things that go into your mobile strategy. One, everybody should at a minimum have a mobile optimized website. That's a no-brainer. A lot of clubs are moving into creating mobile responsive designed websites, which is perfect. And then also you have this wonderful world of mobile apps. Now, what is the difference between the three? Well, there are slight differences between those. Both the website is going to be for your members and non-members, so those people who are interested in the club. So that's going to kind of fall into the first two buckets, your mobile optimized component and your responsive components. Now, all of those are great tools. And then what happens with the mobile app? The mobile app is going to be really only geared for your members. It's going to be a great way to kind of limit the information that the members have access to and then provide them quick access to get that information. There's a couple native components within the mobile app that are very beneficial to clubs and communications directors. So we'll cover what those are in just a few minutes. So what is the real potential of a mobile app? One, it's really to boost member engagement. One, it could be an easy access to reservations. It could be easy access to information at the club. But the whole goal of it is to make your members' lives easier, as well as the administrators. One thing to know, that the branding of your app is your app, not ours. So one of the things that we like to pride on is that we help your logos become more visible. So for example, on a member's phone, they're going to see their club's logo, not MembersFirst logo. One key native component is that your members won't have to log in again. Members will have to log in on the website if they navigate to that on their mobile phones, which is perfectly fine and normal with website best practices. However, one great features of a mobile app is that your members only have to log in once. That's it. Even if they delete the app and reinstall the app, it's still going to remember their password. It's super convenient for the user experience. There's only one version, so which is great. As all of you know, there are some people who update their apps personally on their phones more than others. I am certainly guilty of not going through the Apple Store and not updating all of my apps. However, you as club administrators are going to want to make sure that your members take advantage of updating the app. It's free. So one of the things that you want to do is make sure that when an update is made, you can certainly let people know. It's very common nature to go through and do app updates. And the one benefit for all of our clubs using our app is that they're on the same version. Okay, so that a quick update in the Apple Store or the Google Play Store is simple. It notifies you when it needs to be updated, you update it, and you're done. This would cover any bug fixes or enhancements that we're making along the way. Push notifications. That's the other really important piece that is native in all apps. So there are plenty of different ways to do push notifications. Keep in mind, yes, we know that MembersFirst does sell a mobile app. However, push notifications isn't something that you have to buy. Over here on the left, you'll see a screenshot of my phone through using Twitter as an avenue for push notifications. Okay, so keep in mind, if you do not have a mobile app at your club, it does not mean that you can't use push notifications in your communication strategy. Twitter was designed for SMS messaging, which is another fancy term for pushing something to your phone. But that's going to be visible to everyone. So the key for the mobile app is that if you are sending private push notifications only to your members, then you can use the mobile app to send those. And you'll see the screenshot of my phone on the right-hand side that'll actually show you about the club at Neptune Cove is promoting a pro shop. Keep in mind that your push notification strategy should not replace your email strategy. And you shouldn't be sending push notifications every single day. Don't replace that or use that as a way to engage with your members and sending them more content. Make sure that it's important for your club to know to put a strategy in place as to what qualifies for an email, what qualifies for a push, and then make sure you stick to that. Target marketing. The push notification component through our mobile app. Now, keep in mind, this is going to be for current clients that are on the phone call. It uses the same message marketing tool that you use currently on your website. So when you're creating new emails, now instead of selecting an email, you're actually just going to select a push notification. But you can use the same features that you have right now. So for example, you'll see a screenshot up at the top of the screen, and you'll notice that you can still categorize your target marketing based off of member types, groups, status, organization, activities, event registrations. How cool would it be to use the event registration target marketing component of your messaging tool to say, hey, everybody who is going to the pool summer bash, we're going to send you a notification to make sure that you know what the dress code is. Or if there's a rain delay, then we want to make sure that we're sending out a notification just to the people who are attending. Then flip it around, and you may be able to send a push notification to those people the day before the event is happening, and only send a second targeted push notification to those people who are not attending the event and say, hey, don't forget to register. So those are great ways to kind of use your full circle marketing within your marketing messages module. And this can be used both for email and for push notifications. Other quick things that are kind of native to the MembersFirst mobile app is the member directory. It's the most visited area on any website, no matter what club you're at. So the member directory, they can go in there, view it, edit it, do all the same things that they can do on the web. They can also view all the website content as well, such as highlight, calendars, contacts, statements, and more. Reservations. Now, MembersFirst has a variety of different reservations. We're going to be covering tee times today, but the mobile app will be able to access all of your reservation modules. Now, there are a bunch of clubs out there that do not use the MembersFirst reservation suite. If you are using a platform such as Jonas Tee Times, you could still access your Jonas Tee Times through the MembersFirst mobile app. Now, MembersFirst Tee Times. Let's jump into this and have a little bit of fun. So MembersFirst Tee Times has been around for, I don't know, the last 5 or 6 years. There has been some great adoption from our client base, and we're happy to show you around it today. So some of the key components of MembersFirst Tee Times that our clients have really enjoyed is that there is a full tournament registration component. There's a great social component. We call it Join Me, but it's basically your members indicating to other members that they're looking for a game. Pace of play reports, member and guest restrictions, starter times, gin integration, group play, guest notifications, responsive design, and point of sale integration. So there's a lot of great things that you can do with the tee sheet. And the tee sheet has actually been implemented at clubs that allow their members to make tee times online, but it has also been implemented at a number of clubs that quote unquote don't take tee times. That's okay. If the club does not take tee times, you can actually use the Members First tee sheet for tournament registrations, or maybe just a little bit of transparency, so that even if the members are not required to make a tee time, they could still sit in their office, pull up the tee sheet, see how busy it is, and decide whether or not they want to come over to the club. There's nothing worse than a member getting to the club, going up to the starter, and saying, "Great, you can actually get out on the first tee in 2 hours." So you want to make sure that the level of transparency could help out, even if you're a club that does not take tee times. So let's actually jump into the tee sheet. So for today's presentation, we'll use the club at Neptune Cove. For those of you who are Members First customers, you will recognize this as our demo site, so you're probably all very familiar with what we have going on here. So what we're actually going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in as a member. I have already, oops, let's see here. I'm going to log out and log in as a different member. So I'm going to actually log in here. And keep in mind, I am an administrator, so I'm going to log in and impersonate a member. However, for those of you who are not Members First clients on the phone call, your members will never see this screen. The members will be directed directly to their member homepage. So from the member homepage, there's a variety of different things that we can do. Okay. Now, one of the things that I usually like to start off with is the member directory. The member directory is key in all reservations modules, including Members First Tee Times. So Members First Tee Times, of course, it's driven from the most popular area, your member directory. One key thing to note that in the member directory, members will all have the ability to change their information. Okay, they can view GIN scores, post GIN scores. They can edit their photo and edit their info. So make sure that you're encouraging your members to populate their profiles. If they populate their profiles, well, then the next best thing is that when they go to make tee time reservations, that photo will actually carry through to the members facing view as well as the administrative view. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. I'm going to go to make a tee time, and this will jump us into the tee sheet. Now the tee sheet here at Members First, as you all know, we are very big on branding. So we want to make sure that if your members are at the club, they feel like they're at the club. So we want to make sure that your tee sheet, all of your reservations modules look exactly like the club's website. It will be great for consistency from the members' experience. Now, this club at Neptune Cove, just to give you a heads up, I do have this set up as a resort with 3 different golf courses. So for today, we're actually just going to go in and we're going to use Neptune Cove. So Neptune Cove, what you're looking at here, we'll scroll down here. Of course, just like every system, you've got a quick 3-month view, or you can quickly jump to each different month. Okay. Now, one of the things that you'll see today is that Friday, we've got a few different things that are happening today. Okay. There's plenty of areas to add notes on the tee sheet, whether it's a overall note, an individual note, so on and so forth. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click over to a different day. So I'm going to go over to Monday the 31st. And we're going to jump over to, let's say, the South Course. So as you scroll down, again, we've got car pass only today, so it's probably got a good overnight rainstorm at this club. And we're going to go down and you'll see that there's items in blue, which mean they're available. And we're just going to simply make a tee time. We have the ability to book multiple tee times if your club allows that. If not, they would simply go directly into the booking screen themselves. One of the great things that we have here within the tee sheet is one, it is a live system. So you'll notice on the toolbar down here in the bottom of your screen, you'll see that I've got the next 9 minutes in order to complete this reservation. It basically means that this reservation is booked and will appear reserved to other members trying to book this time, in addition to your administrators in the pro shop. You'll see that there's 1 player on this tee time, and here are the details for the tee time. But of course, I'm not going to play by myself today. I'm going to actually add a few other people. So I can simply add other people in here. Now I'm going to just add in my brother. So I can just start in typing whether it's the last name, and I can go in and add Derek Abernathy. Or if I don't know, if I just met the member and I don't know how to spell the last name, but I know that his name is Derek, you can do the same thing. You could start typing based off of the first name. So it's a great way to use the search tool, whether you're searching by first name, last name. Basically, you're searching by letters. And so if I just go back in here, we'll add Derek. Now, one of the next things that we can do, guests. Of course, you want to be able to, any touch point you can have with a guest is great. So if you can convince your members to include the guest names, well, think about how you can actually make that a better experience, not only for your member who may be entertaining people, but also for the guests themselves. So if a member has not brought this guest before, they could certainly go to create the guest, and you can put in their information. You can make certain fields required or not, and then you would complete that process. Or if the guest has already been in the database, like my dad, Doug Blyle, he plays with me every couple a couple times a year when he's in town. So I have him in my guest database. That way it makes it super easy for me to add him in the future. Now let's just say I don't know who the fourth is going to be. Okay. I know that I'm going to have a fourth, but I'm just not sure who it's going to be yet. So I don't want another single to jump into my tea time. So I'm going to actually just hold this tea time. So I'm going to actually hold the fourth spot. In this hold, for those golf professionals on the line, the hold can actually expire whenever you'd like. It would be an auto expire, so it could expire, let's just say 24, 72 hours in advance. Okay, that way the hold will automatically disappear. The member making the booking will be notified that the hold is being removed, and then it will be open to the rest of the membership. On the flip side of that, let's just say that I want to I'm looking for a fourth. Okay, I only have 3 people, but there's so many more games that you can play on the golf course if you've got a full foursome. So I'm going to actually add a join me component so that it will indicate not only to the professionals in the pro shop, but it will also indicate to other members that, hey, Francis, Derek, and Doug are actually looking for a game, which is great. Now, one cool thing that you can do is that if this is a traditional group that you play with on a regular basis, we also have this really cool component where you could say remember group. And so I'm going to say that this is my demo group. And these are the people that I play with on every single demo I do. Okay, so it's going to make it super simple for me to go in and add that again afterwards, the next time we play. So I'm going to hit remember group. Now, a couple of things that you'll notice here is that there are some preferences, just as in all systems, but our preferences are actually really important with connections to the point of sale. So Francis Abernathy, you could see that his preference is to take a riding cart. Derek Abernathy, his preference is to take a caddy. And then Doug, who's the guest, he doesn't necessarily have a preference. But what we can do is we can, if the member knows that, hey, we're all going to be riding today, that's perfect. Now keep in mind, for those of you that are using the point of sale connection, these are important because these are tied to sales items. Okay, so that's actually going to be starting to create your point of sale ticket. The members don't know that they're actually helping you. Okay, and then we also have the item over here on the right hand side, which it says the responsibility of. So of course I'm going to take responsibility for myself. My brother is going to take responsibility for him. But you know what, Doug Blyle, you know what, I paid for him last time, so I'm actually going to have my brother pay for him this time. Again, for those clients who are using the point of sale integration, this is great because you're actually creating the ticket right here. The members don't know that they're actually helping you, but they are. If the tee time looks good, all we need to do is hit create reservation. One of the great things that will happen now is that you'll be directed automatically back to the tee sheet. You'll notice that because I am the booking member, I can actually control everybody in the group, so I could easily remove or add people if I wanted to. However, other members, such as Derek, he will be able to go in and remove himself or adjust himself. He will not be able to remove any of my guests or me because I am the booking member, but he will be able to go in and control his own account. Now that's really cool that it actually took them back to the tee sheet. But one other important thing is that we made this tee time, and Of course, we're going to have more things going on at the club, and we want to make sure that, we're not overbooking ourselves. So if I look at the calendar, that tea time reservation is also going to live on my personal calendar now. So now you can see that here's that 7:36 tea time that we just made. So that's how you make a basic tea time. Now I'm going to go back to that remember group component, because if I went back and let's just say I came in tomorrow and I'm actually going to make another tea time, and we're going to go to the South Course, and I'm going to go over to, let's say, August 1st, and we're going to make a reservation for, again, that same 7:30 tea time. Now, rather than going in and retyping all of the names, I'm just going to go to the groups that I play with. I'm going to type in, this is my demo group. I'm going to hit plus, and it's already populated everybody who I have here. However, I know that I've got a fourth this time, and I'm going to actually put in my buddy Kevin Bear. And now here's our foursome, and we'll just go ahead and hit create reservation. Very simple. As the members use the system more, it becomes easier and easier for them to make tea times. Tournaments. Tournament registration is going to be key. Tournament registration is important for any golf professional. So as we are in here, I can certainly go to my tournament list. And there could be a variety of different tournaments. It could be weekly play, it could be big one-day member guests, but there's a variety of different things that you can do. So here's the calendar. Now here's a list view. I could certainly look at this in a full calendar view if I wanted to as well. But let's just simply go in. We're going to sign up for the one-day member guest. So the one-day member guest took me directly to August 3rd. You can see that the entire tee sheet is blocked off that day because it's the one-day member guest. I can view signups. I can create an entry, and we'll go ahead and we'll create the entry. You can see that there's 144 openings right now. Once the 144 openings have been completely booked, then this will go to a wait list. And then I've got Francis Abernathy, and let's just say the person who I'm bringing is Doug Blyle. So that's going to be the guest for me today. We'll go ahead and hit continue. I can add any notes. But your golf professionals, for certain events, now you wouldn't use this for every weekly game that you have, but for your bigger events, such as things that involve food and beverage, or your big one-day member guests, or your 3-day invitationals, you can actually start to attach these custom forms. All the questions are configurable by the club. The answers are definable by the club. And here's just a quick sample. You can see I have two people, Francis Abernathy and Douglas Blyle. So here's the questions. Will you require a caddy? Yes or no? If yes, how many? If no, you can see the question goes away. So it's wizard driven based off of your answers. So we're going to say, yes, we need 2 caddies. The shirt size is a medium, but let's just say I put on a little weight and I'm actually going to be a large. Do I need a box lunch? Yes. If so, what do you want? Turkey, roast beef, or ham? Now let's keep in mind, a member may change their mind when they get to the club, but think of how beneficial it would be for your food and beverage team to know that, hey, 80% of the people wanted turkey. So it allows the chef to prepare accordingly. Now, the other ways that some clubs have used these forms are for their big 3-day invitationals. Maybe the spouse is invited to the dinner on Saturday night. Well, that's great if the spouse, so the question may be, is your spouse coming to dinner on Saturday night? If yes, what would they like for dinner, chicken, fish, or beef? Are there any dietary restrictions? It's a great way to be able to provide information to other club departments through the tee sheet. Now, if I go to the next player, you'll notice that it'll go over to Doug Blyle. Now, this is the same form, but we ask different questions, because what would the professional want to know about the guest? Well, of course, they're going to want to know what's the home club, maybe what's their index, and then the rest of the questions may remain the same. Now, the great thing is that the member making the reservation may not know the home club, or they may not know the index. However, you can actually make these questions definable or required at the time of submission, or required by a certain date, which is a great thing to do, because let's just say I don't know it, but I still want to sign up. That's perfectly fine. So what you can do is actually say, hey, you can actually sign up for this, but the system will automatically send you a reminder email, let's just say 2 weeks ahead of time, and say, Mr. Abernathy, we're still looking for the home club and the guest index for Douglas Blile. It's a great way to make sure that your members are utilizing the site, engaging with the reservations, and at the same time making the life of the golf professionals and the administrators a little bit easier. Now, with Members First Tee Times, there's so much you can do within this system. But what I also want to do today is I want to show you a quick way to see how this would work with the mobile app. And so, pardon me 1 second while I share my phone. Now everybody can see my phone up here. You can actually see that I got a push notification from Matitacon Golf Club through Twitter. So again, free push notifications that private clubs are using. But you will notice down here on the bottom of the screen, I actually have my mobile app for Neptune Cove. So I'm just going to simply click over onto the mobile app. Again, notice how I did not have to sign in. Takes me to the home screen of my mobile app. You can see my navigation is over on the left-hand side. As I scroll up and down, depending on what you have available at the club, you may be offering a variety of different things. Members can go in there and they can edit their profile. They can view their account statements. But what we'll also show you for today's call is that we talked a little bit about push notifications. So you'll see that if the member by chance missed the push notification that came directly to their phone, they can also always go back and look at the recent notification. As you can see, this one went out on July 26th, and it says the south parking lot is closed. Please use valet. So you can use these for a variety of different things. The tee sheet is also accessible through the Members First mobile app. We can go ahead and hit reserve a tee time. This will bring me directly into the tee sheet. As you can see, I'm just going to jump over to the south course. I can select my dates. And let's pick a time for, let's go to August. And let's say we're going to go to Friday, August 4th, and make a tee time. So let's just simply go down to 6:48. We will hit continue. You can see my name is already there. We've got Derek Abernathy. And I could certainly go in here and add another member if I'd like. So we'll just say add Francis Abernathy. It'll just be a twosome today. We can add a couple join me's and go ahead and hit create reservation. The reservation has been completed, and it takes me directly back to the tee sheet where on the mobile phone there isn't as much real estate, so you only see icons of the reservation. However, you can click on the icon and it will tell you who is in that group. So let's turn off AirPlay, and I'm going to jump back to the PowerPoint presentation. And now what I'd like to do is actually open it up for questions. We covered so much today. We covered a little bit about mobile strategy, a little bit about the Members First tee sheet, and then we also covered how that would work on your mobile app. So I'd love to be able to open up questions to the group in regards to anything to do with Members First tee times or Members First mobile app. And just as a quick reminder, we do have, there is a chat screen over on the right-hand side. That is a place for you to be able to answer any question or to add in any questions, and I'll answer them in the order they were received. Okay, looks like we've got coming in here. Okay, we've got one that is actually in regards to the Members First mobile app. It looks like the question is um, okay, so how should we promote the app to get our members using it? Well, again, it's going to come down to a great communications plan. You want to make sure that if you're going to be implementing the Members First mobile app, you want to make sure that one, you tell people about it, and then you remind them about it, and then you tell them again. You want to make sure that there's ways that you could promote it not only on your website. I have seen people kind of create little reminder cards and kind of place those throughout the clubhouse. But if you really want your members to engage with it, you have to encourage them to download it. So, it's going to kind of coincide with the same way that you would implement a new menu, right? If you're going to implement a new menu, you scream at the top of your lungs that there's a new menu. The chef is really excited about it. And then you kind of have your service staff make sure that they're promoting it as well. So, great question, but it really comes down to a great communications plan in order to get your members to start downloading the app. Okay, we've got another question coming in here, and just in regards to the slides. Um, and yes, the question is, will we be getting the slides after the presentation? The question is yes, or excuse me, the answer is yes. I will be not only emailing the slides out to the attendees, however, um, I will also be adding that to the administrative side for your Members First admin. Oh, actually, we've got one great question that I actually forgot to mention during this during the presentation. Most of you who received the email noticed that there was a summertime promotion for the Members First mobile app and Members First Tea Times. So we do have a promotion going on. It is labeled and detailed in the email that you received. But yes, we are actually, for those clients who purchase Members First Tea Times, by the end of September 2017, they will actually get 50% off the Members First mobile app, which is a $900 savings, which is great. However, one key component of that is that the implementation for the T-sheet must happen this fall. So it would need to be implemented by the end of this year. Great question, and thank you for reminding me. But yes, we are running a summertime promotion. Okay, we've got another question coming through here. Um, can you? Okay, so looks like this might be a two-part question. So this question is coming in. Can you email other members through the T-sheet? Um, yes. It doesn't necessarily happen through the T-sheet. Emailing other members is something that's native within the Members First website. So members can email other members through one. There's two ways to do it. You can either do it through the message board, or you can do it through our buddy list component. So to answer your question, yes, you can email other members, but no, it is not necessarily related to the T-sheet. It's just a part of the overall system that you can use. So for those of you who are using the T-sheet, yes, you can do it. For those of you who are not using the T-sheet, you can still email other members. Okay, the second part of that question is, can you view handicaps of others? The answer is yes. So the way that you can view handicaps of others, there's two different ways to do it. You can actually do that, and one, again, this is not a part of the Members First T-sheet. If you're a Members First client, you can view handicaps of all members through the website, and that's just done through the member directory. So you can actually click on the view scores, and you can actually open that up. We do also have the ability, when it comes to handicaps and posting, we do have the ability to kind of quote unquote show what we call a sandbagger report, kind of the people who are playing but not posting. The T-sheet does have an integration to Gin that can actually, if the member is on the T-sheet, it would be cross-referenced on whether they have posted their score or not, And then your golf professionals can use that as a way to remind members that if they play, they need to post. The third part of that question is, can you book more than 5 groups at a time? Yes. If your if your club if your club allow I mean if your club allows a member to book 10 groups, 20 groups, 30 groups at a time, the answer is yes. That's all in the rules and restrictions, based off of what you set up during the implementation component. So if you allow your members to book more than 5 groups at a time, then the answer is yes. If you do not want your members to book more than 5 groups at a time, then you don't have to allow them. So it's configurable by the club. Great question. Okay, looks like we've got one more coming in. Question. It looks like it's in terms of point of sale integration. So yeah, so Members First has a great relationship with a lot of point of sale and accounting providers. We do have full point of sale integration to Jonas software, whether you're using Jonas Club Management, Jonas Encore, or if you're using Club Systems Group, which is another accounting system within that family of brands. I'm actually going to jump over and I'll actually show that to you because that can be sometimes hard to explain. But let me just jump back in here. And we're going to get out to, so I'm actually just going to go into the administrative it. So the T-sheet, just as a reminder, is completely web-based. So there's no limit on the amount of users that you can have. As long as they have access to the T-sheet, they can access it from anywhere. You can access it from the club. You can access it from the beach. So if I click into the T-sheet, I'm going to log in as my credentials. And let's just let's just make a basic tea time for today. We'll just go in and we'll say 8:40, and I'm going to put in Abernathy, and we'll add in here Derek Abernathy, and we'll also add in here Francis Abernathy, and let's just add a guest. And we'll just put in a regular family guest. Okay. So the point of sale integration is great because what you have over here is you have the point of sale ticket already being created. Okay. So we actually could see Derek Abernathy has a guest, and then there's also another member, Francis Abernathy. Now, if this family guest is actually supposed to go down onto to Francis's account, you would just drag and drop it down there to create that ticket. Now, one of the things that we'll end up doing, we're going to actually go in here and we're going to say that everybody's going to ride today. And so as you can see, as I am selecting items, it's changing my point of sale tickets. So now I'm just going to hit select all, and we'll go ahead and we'll send it to the point of sale. And what will happen is it'll direct you back to the T-sheet. Everything will turn yellow, which means it's been sent to the point of sale. And then your point of sale, which will be set up, it can send it to any different terminal. But you'll notice that what will happen is that it will send the ticket. So you can see here's Derek Abernathy. He's got 2 cart fees and a guest fee. And we're just going to do a quick member charge. And then it's going to add Francis Abernathy with the 18-hole cart fee because he's a member. And let's just say that he wants to add golf balls to this, so he's going to go in and add, a couple sleeves of Pro V1s. Hit done, and a quick member charge. So great question, but for those people who use those different point of sale and accounting systems, there's a full point of sale integration to that. Okay, great questions today. Let's see here. I want to jump in and make sure that I haven't missed any. Okay, looks like there's one more question coming through. Okay, the question is, how does it work with shotgun setups? So for those of you out there who are using the T-sheet is very simple. I mean, it does work with shotguns, crossovers. Basically, you would create a tournament, and then you would determine how many people are going off on each hole. So from a quick scenario, if we're looking back at the T sheet, and if I just went into, let's just say where I have a tournament set up here, I probably have one set up on Thursday the 3rd. So I've got that 1-day member guest here, okay? Now I'm just gonna edit an existing tournament, but of course you can easily create them on your own. But if you're gonna be doing a shotgun, you're not gonna do a regular sign up, you're actually gonna do a special start. So your shotgun is gonna come in and you're actually gonna determine how many people, how many groups are going off on each hole. So maybe you're gonna do one off of one off of two. Hole number 3 is a par 5, so we're actually gonna send 2 groups off of hole number 3, so on and so forth. So full shotgun and crossover functionality, which is great. Now you also have the ability to do, you can send people off of a lot of people when that comes up. You may have, let's just say that you've got the ladies 9-holers going out. Okay, ladies 9-holers are going out at 11 a.m. So the ladies 9-holers are going to be going off of the front 9. So you may want to send people off of the back 9. So you can kind of switch it up depending on if you're teeing people off on hole number 1 or hole number 10. Great question. Okay, perfect. It looks like that may be the last question on there. Certainly, let me go back to the PowerPoint. I'll put my contact information up here. So certainly great questions today. I appreciate everybody joining us this afternoon for the Members First Tea Times and mobile app webinar. Again, my contact information is right over there. Whether you work with myself or if you work with Dawn Taylor, either one of us can answer any questions that you have, and make sure not to forget about the Members First Tea Times and mobile app promotion that we have going on over the next 2 months. If you purchase Members First Tea Times, you actually get 50% off the Members First mobile app. We'd be happy to go through and answer any questions or meet with your golf professionals to make sure that the systems would work for you. So again, thank you for joining us today. I'll see you soon. Have a great weekend.